Greetings, this is Jazz for Jazz Reviews, and welcome back to my top 5 series. I told you it'll be back. Now with so many great games of 2011, there's bound to be a few that don't quite live up to expectations. They may not be the worst games, but did they really live up to the hype? Here's my 5 of the most disappointing games of 2011. At number 5. Dead Island. With some of the best trailers shown this year, the hype was phenomenal. Why? Because it's just that formula that seems to grab your attention every time. Zombies. So what the hell went wrong? Well, let's look at it realistically. Gameplay was repetitive, the bugs never ending, and some rather frustrating online play. Now, it wasn't a bad game, not at all, but the fact is, it could have been so much more. Game of the Year material. The publishers advertised the game as an RPG and horror survival game. Comments came spiraling in, speculating the next Fallout/Borderlands hybrid. But the story came across a little flat, and whilst the game held all of the essentials and basics of a role-playing game, it was very basic. The quality of visuals uneven, mechanics such as stealth non-existent, but in the end it was a little tedious but still fun depending on who you played it with. At number 4. Faction Armageddon. The developers destroyed everything that made the previous game so great. You took away the widespread open world of Mars and moved it to a cave. Guerrilla captured something that had never been done before, infinite destruction, whereas Armageddon forces you through linear caves, placing emphasis on killing monsters rather than destroying buildings. There was a great weapon selection with guns such as the magnet gun and beam rifle. If only the environment existed to unlock that potential. Granted, the story was a little better this time around with real character development. I actually enjoyed it. As a standalone game, it isn't bad. It really isn't. But it was the wrong move, and as a result, the Red Faction series has been terminated. Permanently. At number 3.
Are you ready to use these, brothers?
I am ready.
Then let's do this.
Brink! Oh, what didn't go wrong here? Going back to 2010 now, it was possible Brink was weighing in to be the next breakthrough in shooters, or the next Team Fortress at the next level. But it just so happened to be, the campaign was actually a recycled multiplayer with bots, aided with a few cutscenes scattered throughout. It's funny because the amount of enthusiasm in directors like these.
You can change your hairstyle, you can change your hair color, you can change tattoos on your face and on your body. He's like a Spider-Man, he can jump off walls, he can do double jumps, he can do all this stuff.
They were boasting Brink the end of the genre as we know it. Well, you're $10 now, Brink. How'd you feel about that? The artistic style surrounding this authentic world could have been great, yet came across dull and washed out with pixelated lines and small textures. The intelligence of both your team and the enemy are shocking. In a game focusing on that value, teamwork, it's rare that you look behind you and see your comrades advancing as one. It's solely up to you to nab those objectives. With 4 classes, the similarities are too great, with any real differences nested within the perk system or body types. Apart from the parkour system, Brink doesn't aspire to do anything new, or perhaps it did, but the end result came across rushed, complete with bugs, and therefore only worthy of a 6 out of 10. At number 2. Dragon Age 2. A true RPG allows you to become whatever, do whatever, and go wherever the hell you want. Dragon Age 1 captured that sense of play, though came across fairly linear. But that was 2009. With the Elder Scrolls Skyrim to compete with, BioWare decided to further restrict your gameplay. In fact, developers chose to streamline and take away from armor types and customization. The warrior, for instance, unable to dual wield anymore. It's as if BioWare couldn't be bothered to place more than one city and varied location in the game, with caves and interiors all looking the same and almost artificial. Combat is a lot faster, which is a good thing. The mage now capable of devastation on the battlefield, complete with effects and visuals that simply look kick-ass. Dialogue is often fun through characters such as Isabella and Varric. You gain points through picking the right choices when speaking to them to unlock their own personal quest. But when a character such as Anders approaches and flirts with you, expect to lose those points when choosing to reject those suggestive comments. It's as if BioWare encouraged you to sleep with both Isabella, Anders, and a transsexual for the good of the game.
Well, aren't you adventurous? Let's get you some experience, sweetie.
very liberal. But one of the more infuriating issues I had with the game were the endings of nearly every quest, which always made the mage out to be bad. The ending to the game did the very same thing, with the same outcome, in which has led me to think all mages are bad. I will never trust one again. So in total, Dragon Age 3, increase the scope here. Stay true to Dragon Age 1, but please, take a page out of Skyrim's book. And finally at number 1. Duke Nukem Forever. Yeah, Gearbox, you morons. We've been waiting 14 years for this game. The game's stuck in the 90s with less than mediocre graphics and visuals. Unless of course you want to add points for the amount of titties in this game.
You sure haven't lost your touch.
The combat in itself is average, with the most effective weapon the shotgun. It's not always clear where you have to go in this linear game. Perhaps that was due to level design. However, there were some enjoyable and varied moments through strip clubs, condiments, and casinos.
Let's rock.
It's a shame then its vast amount of minigames felt broken and clunky. It seems nothing in Duke Nukem fails to irritate you, apart from the character himself. Duke is still Duke, still the womanizer slapping titties and making suggestive and direct comments that never fail to impress. The Capture the Babe mode, one of the more memorable moments in the game, but perhaps the game could have pushed for even more controversy. Duke doesn't need to grow up or change his ways, that's why he'd be the gaming icon he is today. However, without trawling through the details, the game in itself needed substantial change to even compete in the same caliber of other games this generation. And so, this has been the top 5 on the most disappointing games of 2011. The top 5s are back, so leave your top 5 suggestions in the comments below, and I'll be sure to shout you out in the video if that helps. This has been Jazz for Jazz Reviews, and I'll see you next time.